There's dreams, Johnny, and then
There
there's
you are.
ultimate dreams.
That's
Let's
so
talk about
true,
that.
right? Let's do that, man. What's everybody really want on Maui? Do they really want a condo?
I don't think so. What do
I
they
know.
want?
That's what it is. Well,
So
and
what starts, I think, as a lot of things, most people are very practical. They're very realistic. They start
sure.
small. They
Yes,
start with a timeshare if they're not from Maui, if they're not on the island already, they start with a timeshare more often than not.
it's
And
true.
then there's a condo, and condo is kind of where people start. It's long been thought, right? That's where most people start. You start in an apartment, you start in a condo. You start small, you work your way up. And a lot of people, I think they kind of start there in their process of thinking about retiring with Maui, with being on Maui, moving to Maui. It's think about, hey, a condo is accessible. We can look at a condo. We can think about a condo. It should be a little bit more affordable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And then in a lot of the conversations we've been having over the last year is people have bought in condos and then they kind of reveal to us later like they have bigger dreams. They have dreams of selling condos, getting into houses. They have dreams of selling two condos and buying a bigger house on the hillside. They have dreams of buying the oceanfront compound in the future, which some of our clients have done. And so we're realizing that there are dreams and then there are ultimate dreams. And
So
today
true.
we want to bring you the deal of the week in Wailea.
Guess what Wailea is not doing?
What's
They're
that,
not
Johnny?
waiting to build up their town that was burned down. In fact, Wailea is where has been picking up Lahaina's slack, along with Kauai and the Big Island and Oahu. People are still coming to Hawaii. So that's something to reflect in there as well. I love the subject, Danny. I love the location, right? This is such a location play. And while Keawakapu Beach has been beat up by some storms, it's all going to come back. So
It is the beach of all beaches. I know you're a west side, best side, Johnny, but I'm a firm believer that the south side has the better beaches. And so we're right here on the border of Kihei and Wailea, Johnny. Kilohana
mhm.
Drive is that dividing piece. North of Kilohana, you're in Kihei. South, you are in Wailea. And this is some of the most prime real estate on the island. Would you say?
I mean, so I watched one sell in there for 44 million off market in 2022. I'm just going to leave it
Wow.
at that. So, yeah, there's some spendy homes there.
So where
And
we're at,
yeah, the red dot.
South Kihei Road,
Yep,
Kilohana Drive. There is a little parking lot here. If you've been to Maui, you've probably parked there and gone to
totally.
Keawakapu Beach. We are in the next block down in this neighborhood called Wailea Kai. In kind of juxtapose this, you have these condos over here. You have Monokai, Halihui Kai, and Kihei Surfside. If you want to be in this neighborhood, Johnny, those are the three options that you're usually looking at condo wise. And you're thinking about vacation rental. You're thinking about, oh, maybe we start with a condo. We've stayed here for a long time. These are what you're thinking about.
That's right. And Kihei Surfside, one bedrooms, they all bring over $1 million. They're going to be shutting down here for a long time to do some fixing. Monokai, 2 bedrooms, sub 800 square feet, gorgeous views, seem to all be in the 1518 range.
Yeah, or more.
Lastly, we've got Halihui Kai. We just had one close in there, right? Bad
One
boy.
bedroom for like 2.6, 2.5, 2.6. I mean,
So there you go.
amazing views.
Yes.
Straight on Keawakapu Beach. So that, I mean, you can't really argue and debate with that. That
Truth.
is the view of all views. And yet, what we realize is a lot of people want the house. There is a different feeling about being in a house than there is being in a condo.
Well, if you're going to be together for a long period of time, sometimes you want to get away from each other. And this is what the house provides, right? Kind of watch my mom have to
Space.
go through that, going from a house down to a condo in Kealani, and just the family dynamics of being close to each other is very interesting.
What else? What else does the house with a garage potentially afford you to live a certain lifestyle that you're very fond of, Johnny?
Well, I'd fill up that lot. That I mean, there'd be a golf cart in there. There'd be so many surfboards. Now, I mean, I'd be driving a lot for surfing, but yeah, I'd have
Yes.
to fill it up with surfboards. I mean,
If you're a
I'd
surfer, you
have
may
a
not. This
garage.
may not be the play. this may not be the play if you're a surfer. I mean, it's a longer distance to the surf spots. Maybe it's you got more skim boards in there. That's your jam. Or boogie boards, and you're going down to bigs.
You're doing more summertime surfing down here. I mean, I'm not going to mention the spots. I don't surf them because it's 2 hours away, hour and a half away. And I got plenty of surf in Lahaina, but there's some spots down there.
So let's talk about this neighborhood, Johnny. This, I mean, you talk a lot about the OG Kaanapali hillside neighborhood. That is something you reference a lot over on the west side. This, I would say, is the equivalent on the south side, right? This is the original Wailea.
These into the
Mid
2017
to late 80s.
Okay,
yeah,
there you go.
This neighborhood. So mid to late 80s. So we were kind of speculating. I mean, this neighborhood is really ripe for kind of remodels, redevelopment, repurposing. It's at that age where, I mean, 1985 things looked a lot different. Money looked different. So structure, luxury looked a lot different. And so some of these kind of have a range of their luxury feel. And it seems like this would be in the next 5 to 7 to 10 years, this neighborhood a lot of people would come in here and kind of either blow them out, tear them down, remodel them. I mean, push, pull, stretch, turn this into something amazing.
Facts. It's gated, so you have the security there. You walk across the beach, across the street to the beach, which is one of our best beaches in Wailea. So that's another play. Let's see it, man. I'm on pins and needles.
At 53 Waikai Street.
So guys, classic Hawaii build. Kind of want you to go back to that first place that we were just at, Danny. So take them to the house, showing the garage there. Just so you know, guys, pretty classic way of you pull up, you think it's a single level because it's all on one level there, but actually you're going to have bedrooms on a floor beneath. So just wanted to tee that up there. Kind of an interesting situation where you have your garage separate. You've got kind of this little courtyard area where you're seeing a hot tub. That's that. Fees, am I paying them here?
Smaller than a condo, and yes, there are still fees because you're in Wailea. So you're about $500 a month for your HOA fees. And then there is a Wailea fee as well, which I think is like an annual fee. So 4 beds, 2.5 bath. You have 1 bedroom on the main floor with a full bath, 3 bedrooms downstairs with a full bath, and then a half bath just off the kitchen, 2,400 square feet, built in 1987. Johnny, let's walk through it a little bit. So you have just a wide open space in the main living with the bedroom off of it. There's your front. There's your closeness to the water. I mean, you are very close. Short stroll down to the beach, super quick golf cart. This interesting kind of middle ground courtyard space with the hot tub. Back to your interior, simple kitchen. Johnny, we might add, this has been used as a rental the last few years, 3-4 years. So kind of feels like it's set up in that way. I don't know why we do a picture of a faucet running. Like what speaks luxury? Just side note, like what speaks luxury about seeing a faucet running? Like, is that like feet pictures these days? Like people would get excited about it. We'll keep going.
So kind of a
pantry, wide open. Whatever you can imagine, it can be.
I see a ductless AC up here.
Ductless AC in here. Here's your primary. Do your primary from different angles.
A shower? I do.
Space. You do. Separate shower from the tub. Back to the main space. Here's your half bath off the kitchen. Downstairs to Johnny's favorite tile in the whole wide world. So 3 beds downstairs. Here's a soaking jacuzzi tub, shower.
No ductless
ACs. Here's your deck. So this is your primary bedroom here. Deck space, not really any sort of view. Here's your entry.
Very interesting.
Kind of how the house looks with that middle ground in the middle. Man, Johnny.
Location play. And guess what Wailea is, Danny, as a neighborhood? It is a resort neighborhood. Now, in the world of somebody asking, well, could I vacation rent it, John? Well, no, you can't, because the rules state that you must own a single family residence home for 5 years before you could even submit for a vacation rental permit. Now, we're in Wailea, which is where vacations are supposed to take place because it's a resort area. And we asked some artificial intelligence if anybody had pulled a permit for a vacation rental in the neighborhood, and they had not. So that's a big important thing there. If that's a thought process, They don't want a bunch of them in the neighborhood, so they kind of put, a limit as to how close they can be to each other. That's a potential thing there. When I'm thinking about who could use this, you always get these big family vacations over here. You get these legacy properties like Kamoli Sands, where generations have vacationed in the same location. So I don't know. Do you hooey up together as a family to get together for something like this? Because this is what families really want, right? They don't want to string a bunch of condos together. They'd much rather get together in one place, the backyard, some stuff that they could maybe do and add a pool to it, what have you. Or maybe somebody buys this to rent out like it was before. Maybe a local person just wants to move to Wailea and they can sell their place somewhere else for a million and change and get into this very comfortably. I do feel that this is falling in line with how that Airbnb model is slowly going away due to high taxes and high fees. And people are starting to realize that, hey, maybe a second home is a better option for me, something I can use and share with people. So that's the uses that I see there, Danny. Take
Continuing
us
on with
through
that,
the
kind of,
numbers.
yeah, fascinating numbers wise. Your last few sales or price per square foot, about 1100, 1150, 1200. We're right in that range. We're
Mhm.
860 on this particular property. I mean, this almost feels in the current market in the future, it almost feels like a ground floor opportunity of where Wailea is going into the future, being sub $2 million on this particular property. You're 180 days on market, 6 months. I mean, your median days on market for the last 6-7 years is less than 90 days. So we're double that in this property. It tells you Wailea typically moves quickly unless something in particular is going on. In my opinion, this property is it's a bit dated in its view, especially
Mhm.
compared to what's selling recently. Like the other ones
Mhm.
are like, I mean, full on remodels and transform spaces and people like that in this space. They just like to go right into something. Those sold for 2.78, 2.9 million. So we're at 2 million. So there might be a potential play in this becoming sort of a flip as well. I mean, you get in, come in with a cash
People are
deal,
doing them. People are doing them even in this market. I mean, I'm
you
sure that
fix this
they
thing up,
could be a
turn it
player there.
around. That
Yeah.
could be a play as well. Or maybe you fix it up for yourself. You do the Wailea thing for a few years. Maybe this is not the ultimate dream for you. You have a bigger dream in an oceanfront compound or something else. And this is a start for you. And that transforms in a few years into something else. So a lot of different ways to look at it. But price wise, I mean, it's showing all the signs. It's the most motivated in the neighborhood when everything else is 2.7 and above. We're a sub 2 million, sub 1,000 per square foot at 860 per square foot at this price. These guys paid 345 for this, Johnny,
They've been
back in the
trying to
day.
sell it a few times too
They've
for
been
like
trying to
1.3. Yeah.
trying to sell for 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. That I think 4 or 5 times, 4 or 5 different agents. They've tried to sell this thing over the years, so they don't need to sell it. A typical Maui don't need to sell it, but and then they've rented it for a while. But there is some motivation to really sell this 1100,
So 1,100 bucks per foot. And what is the subject? Eight and
860.
something? 860 compared to 1,100, guys. Median is a much better metric than average. I don't really understand why, but Danny probably does. But I just know that's a fact.
We can math on them. We can math on
Yeah,
them.
that's it. So that's the opportunity, how we see it, guys. Wailea it's a luxury location. I mean, it's one of our 3 resort communities here. So this is where vacations are supposed to take place. Um, it is the Kapalua of the South Shore.
That's it exactly. When you hear Wailea, when people say Wailea, I stayed in Wailea, live in Wailea, it is a much different feel than you tell them you live in Kihei or Lahaina
Facts.
or Napili or any of these sorts of spots. Wailea is a destination. It is where a lot of big hotels are, Four Seasons, Condos, all these sorts of things.
Grand
It has a
Wailea,
vibe. And
Fairmont.
you were saying earlier about the Lahaina, the one part that I wanted to add is Wailea is still developing. You
Mhm.
have all those new shops and restaurants above the shops at Wailea, restaurants like Coast that have gotten a lot of attention. There's still new things happening. There's still new development. There's still new restaurants and opportunities going in. So it is evolving as well into something into the future. So there's a lot to be excited about.
Wailea's got a lot of luxury residential condominiums that ask $3-4 million too. That's what I reflect on this in terms of opportunity as well. This is definitely a ground floor opportunity for Wailea. It's not for everybody. It takes somebody with vision, but I see it.
And the last but not least, Johnny, that we haven't mentioned, the alternative to condo living and being in a house is a reduction in taxes and a reduction in HOA fees. So you
And
still
an
have the HOA
inclusion
fees.
of a garage.
Yes. So you're about 1/4, 25% of the monthly HOA fee at a nearby condo, and you're also 1/4, 25% of the annual tax basis being in a house in Wailea, even as a second home versus a condo that is vacation rentable.
That's right. Because a vacation rentable condo complex, whether you're going to rent it out or not, you get two choices for your taxes. It's either the TVR basis, which is one of our most costly, or you're committing to living here full time and getting the resident homestead exemption, which will take you a couple years. So that's how we see it, guys. Nice
In this
opportunity in
particular property,
Wailea.
$6,000 in HOA fees a year, $6,000 in taxes versus a condo, you are $24,000 in HOA fees and another $20,000 to $25,000 in taxes. Saves you
That's
some
the math.
money.
That's the
That
mathy
is
math.
the deal of the week. We are Dreams to Reality Hawaii. If you like things like this, content like this, we do a show one Monday, Wednesday, and Friday called the Maui Hot List Houlihan. Subscribe, hang out with us, share it with someone. Until next time,
Ahui ho.
aloha, hui ho.